By Dylan Otters. A hurricane is a rotating weather system that possesses sustained winds of over 74 miles per hour. They are typically 300 miles in diameter. Hurricanes form over oceans. They require sea surface temperatures of over 80 degrees Fahrenheit to form. They use the Earth's spin to influence their circulation. Hurricanes are called different things in different places. In the northern Pacific, they're called typhoons. In the southern Pacific and the Indian Ocean, they are called tropical cyclones. In the Atlantic, they're called hurricanes. Hurricanes cause lots of damage. One way they cause damage is called a storm surge. A storm surge is a rise in sea level along the coast caused by surface winds and the geography of a coast. If a coast has a gradual descent into the ocean, it will have more storm surge damage. But if it has a steep descent into the ocean, it will have less. Also, there is more damage on the right side of the eye because of its counterclockwise spin. One of the three things that a hurricane needs to form is warm ocean water. Hurricanes can only form when the ocean's surface is hotter than 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Also, hurricanes are powered by heat from condensing water vapor in the atmosphere. Hurricanes need to form at least 5 degrees latitude from the equator. This is because of the Coriolis force. The Coriolis force is what makes hurricanes spin. Wind shear is the change in direction or speed in wind with height in the atmosphere. High wind shear will slow a cyclone down before it becomes a hurricane. This means that it needs low wind shear to survive 6 hours and become a hurricane. Hurricanes get their power from the heat created by the condensation of water vapor in the atmosphere. The first step towards becoming a hurricane is a tropical depression. A tropical depression is a group of thunderstorms that have come together under the right atmospheric conditions for a long enough time, and they may start spinning. The winds near the center are between 20 and 34 knots. Once you are done being a tropical depression, you then graduate to becoming a tropical storm. Once a tropical depression intensifies to the point where its maximum sustained winds are between 35 and 64 knots, it becomes a tropical storm. During this time, the storm itself becomes more organized and becomes more circular in shape. Also, this is when it gets its name. Now you are finally ready to become a hurricane. As the surface pressure continues to drop, a tropical storm will become a hurricane when sustained winds reach faster than 64 knots. A pronounced rotation develops around the central core. Congratulations, you are a hurricane. The eye of the hurricane is the calmest part. It is this calm because strong surface winds can never reach the center. Instead, they form a calm cylinder of air. It is usually 20 miles long. Now, the eye wall is a different story. The eye wall is the most violent part of the hurricane, and it causes the most damage. And it is about 15 miles wide, and as from its name, it is just outside the eye. The rain bands are just outside the eye wall. They're curved bands of clouds that move away in a spiral movement. They produce lots and lots of rain. They also fuel the evaporation and condensation cycle that feeds the hurricane. A Category 1 hurricane has wind speeds of 74 to 95 miles per hour. They will only cause minor damage to homes and may uproot some small trees. A Category 2 hurricane has wind speeds of 96 to 110 miles per hour. Some homes may have roof and siding damage, there will be lots of tree damage, and there will be likely complete power loss. A Category 3 hurricane is the first one classified as major. It has wind speeds of 111 to 129 miles per hour. Some homes may lose their roofs, and there will be extensive tree damage, and loss of water and power is likely. Category 4 hurricane isn't a joke. It has wind speeds of 130 to 156 miles per hour. There will be extensive house damage, like loss of roofs and walls. There will be months without power, and some communities may be isolated by fallen trees and power lines. That's crazy. Now, I know what you're saying. You're like, Dylan, how could anything be worse than a Category 4 hurricane? Well, there's something called a Category 5 hurricane. They have wind speeds of 157 miles per hour or higher, and most homes will be destroyed, and the area will be uninhabitable for months. Yeah. The worst hurricane that ever hit the United States was a Category 4. It was called the Great Galveston Hurricane of 1900, and it hit Texas. It had wind speeds of over 145 miles per hour, and 12,000 people were killed. And in 1900s dollars, it was $20 million in damage, but now it would be about $5.5 million. That's a lot of money. Now, 12,000 is a lot of people to be killed by a storm, but the worst hurricane in the history of the world, well, recorded history, was the Bula cyclone of 1970. It hit East Pakistan and India, and it killed about 400,000 people. It was only a Category 3 hurricane, but the combination of its powerful storm surge and low-lying farmlands was a killer. Hurricanes are named by a boy name or a girl name, and they start out with A, and they alternate from every storm after it. Thank you for listening to my voice for this whole time. I hope you enjoyed my prezi, and I hope you've learned a lot about hurricanes. Thanks again for listening.